Yay! Well, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Monday, the best day of the whole week. One, because we get paid 3 times. 2, because you have Monday there. It's the greatest day ever. So I am so excited. I am so fired up. I am so driven. I have found a renewed passion, and I am ready to end this month better than we have any month this whole year. So I don't know who's with me. Is anybody else with me? Because if you're not fired up, then you need to look in the mirror, because it's a you problem. Because there are exciting things happening in Singular. There's exciting things happening in your world, because there's people coming back to us that have been gone for years. There are people looking right now. There are new people that are looking for what you have. There's people praying for a financial answer that you hold in your hand. And tonight, we're going to talk about all of our stuff at the end. But tonight, I asked Jan Berg to come on because she has got a proven method that she's using where she is signing up partners left and right and duplicating and doing the things. And the way that she's doing it is just like, a hit you in the head moment, because it's something that every single one of us know how to do. It's something that every single one of us have the ability to do. It's just something that every single one of us are not doing yet. So Jan and we met at several events. I can't remember when we actually met. You may, because my brain doesn't work, but it's just, they're here. And it's always Jan and Greg. It's never
right.
It's never just Jan, and I always remember their names because of the Brady Bunch.
Right.
Associate things with people when I first meet them. So it's Jan and Greg from Brady Bunch. So
yeah,
but I adore her. She has such a big heart, and I saw her training on Room at the Top, and it was just like, oh, one of those moments when the angels sing and you're just like, oh my gosh. And y'all, she's not just teaching it, she has the results that are proving that it is working. So I'm going to turn it over to my executive friend, Miss Jan Berg, to teach you guys, not only tell you, but tell you how she's doing it too. So Jan, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for asking me to share this. I am passionate about finding things that work and sharing them. And I'm telling you that I watched this 3 different times. Cora had taught on it. Even a couple of years ago, Stephanie had taught about the 333 with chats. And it finally clicked on the 3rd time that Cora came in and shared it with our team, what she was doing. I tweaked it a little bit, and I'll tell you the things that I found that I needed to tweak to make it work for us, that I'm teaching our team as well. And so it kind of all started because I was doing the 222, but I wasn't feeling comfortable with it. I felt like I was reaching out to people, but I hadn't really had conversations going with them. So it kind of felt, for lack of a better word, spammy to me. And so I was looking for a way that I could definitely build relationships and get to know people before I asked them, if they were interested, right? So I looked at or followed what Cora had taught, like I said, looked at the 333, didn't really understand it. It seemed confusing to me. And then it just clicked. It's like, okay, seriously, just going on to someone's story and commenting on 3 stories a day and liking 3 stories a day, and then commenting on 3 posts and liking 3 posts 3 days in a row. That's it. And then the 4th day, ripping off the Band-Aid. And so what I did at first is if they had a story, I went ahead and put them on my list for my 5, and I started it. Well, that got kind of crazy because some people they'll only put up one story and then didn't put up another one. And they weren't very active in their Facebook page. So I wasn't getting the connection. So I thought, okay, I'm going to spend just a couple hours and just go through stories and write down names of my friends that are on stories and get a list of people to start with. So I took whatever time it took, and I got 40 or 50 names just on a list of names of people that were active in stories that I should investigate. And so then what I did is I took that list and I went to each person and looked at, were they in something else? Were they active on their page? Were they somebody that I would want on my team? Because I wasn't going to I don't want everybody. I want people that are out there that are passionate about, about living, about their families, about God, about, whatever it is that they do. That's what I was looking for. And people that weren't scared to share on social media. And so once I got my list and got them on and I put them in groups of 5. Some people you can choose, you can do 2, you can do 3. I do 5 because my thinking is I want to talk to at least 5 a day. My odds go up, more people I talk to, right? So I do 5 people and I do 3, 3, 3, rip off the Band-Aid. And then I wait for them when I rip off the Band-Aid and I say, and I'll share that verbiage with you guys, but I say, I've been stalking your Facebook page. I promise you I'm not a weirdo, but I love your vibes. I love what you share. And have you ever thought about making money on social media? I think you'd be good at it. And then, whatever the rest of it is. And then I sit there and if they'll come back and they'll say, sure. And then I say, okay, I'm putting you into a group, tagging you in a video that's going to tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing. And then tomorrow I'm going to put you in a group with some people to share their stories. I don't ask them. I just tell them that's what I'm doing. And then the next day I put them into a group chat with people that, if they're teachers or nurses or daycare or stay-at-home moms, whatever it is, I try to find other people in our company that have that background and I get them started in a message with them. And everybody's been really great about hopping on my messages and sharing. And so I just have kind of a team of people that are my go-to people and I help them. And then we just, get that message started. And then when they're in our ATM page, I'm tagging them in there. Lacey and I spent a lot of time working through an ATM page where we could walk them through what the business is all about. And so we've got videos in there. We've got compensation plan. We've got stuff about, being in international markets. And so then I just tag them in the welcome video the first day. And then when I go back in and do the message, then I tag them in a couple more videos. And then they get on, listen to the messages. And usually if they haven't been back in and watched my tags, they'll go back in after they have been in the messenger chat and heard the stories that people share with them. And so, so anyway, then what happens is, once I've got them going, then I just carry on the conversation like you would normally when you talk to somebody about the business and you're talking to them, if they say, no, I don't want the business, now we move them to product, right? But now they've at least got all the information about the business and they can come back to it. And if they say, I'm not interested yet, but I might be later, then I know how to put them I put them into my Teamsy and tag them that I'm going to be talking to them later. So here's what I want to share with you. That is one tip is get the list first before you start putting them into your groups, whether it's groups of 3s or 5s. I know somebody told me, they said, I only do 3 a day because to me, that's, it plugs right in with the 333. Okay. The key thing is ripping the Band-Aid off. Don't judge who you're going to rip the Band-Aid off. Don't say, oh, I don't think they'd like it, or no, I'm nervous about them. Rip it off. Let them decide. Your job isn't to get them involved. Your job is to rip the Band-Aid off and expose them to the opportunity to look at it. And when you take mindset, then you don't feel beat up when someone comes back and says, no, I don't want it, right? It's not a big deal. They said, no, you were just offering it to them. And then the other thing is, I do, so here's how it'll lay out. Day 1, you do 5 people. They're on day 1. Day 2, that group has moved to the second day and you start a new group of 5. Day 3, group 2 moves over, start another new group, this group moves over, right? Day 4, you rip off the Band-Aid. And then day 5, you're doing follow-ups. And so here's the thing, you've got 25 people that you're going to be talking to every single day. Group 1, 2, 3, Band-Aid, and follow-ups. And with the follow-ups, when I rip the Band-Aid off, let's say that they didn't come back and say anything to me. So what do? First of all, I go in and I go back about every 2 or 3 days and just pop back into their story and make a comment. And here's why that's important. I've had 9 people. I tracked it so I would make sure I knew. I had 9 people that came back to me and said, sure, I'll take a look at what you're doing, because I went back into their story. So they didn't do it on the very first day or the second day or the third day, even. It was after I went back into stories and commented again. So that's a key, I think, a key tip to make sure that you're doing those follow-ups. Don't just rip the Band-Aid off and then never go back into their stories or their posts. One other question that people ask me is, what do you do if they don't have stories or if they're not active on their Facebook page? Well, first of all, hopefully you have kind of vetted them for that when you've gotten your list up. But there's sometimes people get busy, they're gone for a weekend or, whatever, and they haven't posted. I keep posting anyway. And so I will just go further down in their Facebook page. So if they don't have a story, I just go into the Facebook page and just comment on more stories or more posts. And always trying to look for something that I can ask a question about. If they pop up a recipe, I ask them if they've made it yet. If they pop up a picture of their dog, I ask them, what the name of the dog is or what kind of dog it is. Or if they're at a lake, what lake are you at? Just, I try to find something that I can ask a question so I get the interaction with them. So that's kind of my process is, 333, rip the Band-Aid off. And then, and I know my first choice is always to get them on in a video chat or on a phone call. But when that doesn't happen, and it's hard to have it happen sometimes, I'll tell you right now, I have a person that is trying to get me on a phone call with one of her girls, and it's been almost 2 weeks, and we have not been able to line up our times that will work for her or I. So in my mind, that's too long. Like when somebody is ready to hear stories, if I can get 4 or 5 people in to share their stories, and I'm telling you, people are passionate. I've had Melissa and she's passionate. People hear her voice. They hear her story. Lacey, I put Lacey Friend in all mine because she is my coach. And so I put her in all of my chats, and who wouldn't get started once they listen to Lacey, right? And so, I found a few people that are just passionate about it and share great stories. And so, so that's kind of how I've been doing it and what I plug into. So anyway.
Okay, I have a lot of questions.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so can I just break this down slow? Because I know what it is, but I'm confused. Like there's a few things and I know that my people hear it from the first time. Okay, so you go onto your own news feed and you look at the little stories that go all the way across. Now, my first question is, do you start at the end or you make your list first from what? How do you just go through and select people from your Facebook friends list? Is that how you?
No. So what I do is I go to the story feed and I scroll it all the way to the end. Cause like the people you're commenting on all the time, they pop up first always. So I scroll all the way to the end and I start there and I look and see what they have. And I like and comment on their story and put their name on my list.
So you're making a list of 50. You're making a list of 50, like as you do their stories.
Yes. Yeah. For the first time. Right. So the first time I'm just commenting and liking and putting them on the list. That's my first step. And I'm not necessarily judging them at that point. I just see if they have a story that I can comment and like and get them on my list. Then when they're on my list, before I put them on, so here's I don't know if you guys can see that, probably not. So here's my working list. So this has their name. It has 333 Band-Aid ATM. So I'm looking to see if they qualify to be on my list. And when I say qualify, it's like, are they active in their, if they didn't put up a post for 2 months, they're probably not somebody that you're going to want to have on your list because they're not real active on their social media feed. So, so that's how I start. That's the first step is get my list together and then break them up into groups of 5.
Okay. So you're the first day you're commenting on 50 different stories.
I comment on as many stories as I can. To be honest, I set a timer for myself because if I don't set a timer, that's my goal to do, then I go down the rabbit hole with the stories. So my goal is just to like and comment on a story, go to the next person, like and comment, get them on my list, like, comment, get them on my list. That's as simple as, I don't dig into their feeds at that point.
Gotcha. Okay.
That makes sense.
And then, okay. So basically so when you break them down into your groups of 3 or 5 or whatever everybody chooses to do, then those are going to be, you're going to have 3 people each day. So you do your list the first day. Like when if we start this tomorrow, you're gonna make your list. So the next day is when you're gonna start these 1, 2, 3 BATM. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first day you take your 3 people and you're going to go into their story again, and you're going to comment again on another story or the story.
So here it's going to be on 3 stories. So you're going to comment on 3 stories, like and comment on 3 stories, like and comment on 3 posts.
The same person.
Same person.
Okay.
If they only have 2 stories, then you're going to do 2 stories. But your goal is to like and comment on 3 stories and 3 posts every single day. Okay. For the 3 days, right? So by the time you're today ripping the Band-Aid off, you will have talked to them, 3, 6, 9, 18 times, right?
And every single time you do, it's something interactive where you're asking a question.
I try to ask at least on day 1, when I'm commenting on 3 of their stories, I try to make sure one of those can be a question.
Okay.
So, like that's where I'll see if they're at a lake. Oh, what lake are you at? Something that's going to get them to respond back to me versus just saying, oh, very cute, how fun or whatever it is you say, right? Instead of just doing a comment like that, you want them interacting with you so that you see that they're seeing their messages, because that's the key. That's where you're going to take care of the conversation is there. So the stories are far more important than the feed is for that.
So, I mean, it can, and just so you guys know, the questions can be, what color pink is that? I mean, just anything. Where did you get those earrings? Or, what's the dog's name? And, you can even look in their background and find a question about something in their background. So yes, that's, having something that's interactive. It can be anything, but that's in their messenger. So it's not anything that's public, and that's where you start building that one-on-one relationship, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So then you go to their post, do the same thing, and one comment is going to be.
And try to make one of
9 different posts, right? For the next 3 days.
What's that?
So you have to have 9 different posts to comment on in the next 3 days.
Yes. And so what I do is I comment on the first 3. And then if I pop in there the next day and they haven't put one up, I go down to the next 3 posts that I can comment on. And so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't comment on, posts from whatever, 6 months ago. You can do that. I have people do it to me all the time. So it's not awkward to do that. Because
the 4th day, you're going to tell them you stalked them anyways.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're going to be honest with them, say I'm stalking you. So, and when you tell them you promise you're not a weirdo, then most of them are like, oh, okay, so.
Okay, so you're doing 3 stories, 3 comments for 3 different people each day, but you're doing 5.
I'm doing 5, yeah. But you can do 3.
We can build up to that, but 3.
Yeah.
So 3 different people. And so, so day 2, you're doing 6 different people, and day 3 you're doing 9 different people.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going until you get to the point where you're day 5. You're either going to put them in the group on day 5, or you're going to start following up with them on day 5.
Right. And you're also, so when you rip the Band-Aid off, you're going to be starting a new group, right? Because day 4, you're ripping the Band-Aid off of the first group. And so now you're starting the whole process over again. Yeah. So you're always going to have new people in there. And so what I do, again, because I can go down the rabbit hole, I set a timer for myself. Now that I've got my list built, I'm going to keep adding to my list, because, most of you probably have anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 friends, right? But not all 3,000 to 5,000 friends see your posts or see your feeds. And so you've got a lot of people to get into. And so I, every day, set a timer, and I do 15 minutes, and my 15 minutes, I'm still going through and commenting and getting more people on my list, so that I keep building my list. So,
all right. So after day 4, on day 4, when you rip the Band-Aid off and you say you would be really good at making money on social media, do you say something like, I can show you? Do you want me to show you, or would you like to know how? Or
so my verbiage is to them, I just tell them that I've been stalking them, and have they ever thought about making money on social media, and would they be interested in taking a look at what I do? And I don't explain anything to them. I don't and I honestly have never had anybody come back and ask questions. They'll read it, and then because it says, would you like to take a look at what I do? And they say, sure. then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to add you to this group and tag you in these videos for you to go in and watch and get an idea of what I do. And then tomorrow I'll get you in the conversation. Now, I can tell you that some people, I can tell in their conversation if they want me to come into it right away. Like if they come back to me with, sure, I really want to know more, then I'll start the conversation that day with them with my group chat.
Okay. What video do you send?
So we have set up, and we have in that 10-minute video that was, I think there's a lot of people in here that are actually in that video that just goes through and explains the compensation plan. It explains a little bit about, what
one that Lacey's emceeing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. And then we put in there, we have the X brand partners. So we have the men's one, the younger people, and then the original one that came out with Maddie and all those guys in it. And then we have individual stories we're putting in there right now too, but we have a compensation plan. We have why we're better. So we set it up in guides to walk them through. And we kind of got really intentional about, okay, when somebody is looking at like, what would they want to know? And so we've got really intentional with what that would look like. And we can share that with you. And if anybody wants to copy it exactly, we had to do a lot of screen recording because we took stuff from, Cora's videos, and there were videos that weren't created yet that we found and had to do screen recording. So and there's some.
So you're taking the video from your business group.
Yes.
And sending it to them. Okay. And
we're not sending it to them. We're tagging them actually we have a whole page set up for.
Okay, so you're going on day 4, when you rip the Band-Aid off, you're adding them to the group right then.
Yep. So if any of you have been into, let's see, Christy Bland's page, Elevate. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've got one started, but I have not gotten all finished. So we stole everything we have in there from either from the Binder app or from other people. So if you want to get in there, you can take whatever you want there and set it up however you want. We've done that with several people now, so you could have yours if you want. Just let me know that. But yeah, so we tag them in there. And then what that opens up the opportunity for me to do is I tag them in that first welcome post and video. And then I'm able to, and we have in there, like the rewards program, we have in there the travel program, all that stuff is in there. But I can tag them then. So, day 2 or 3, I can go back in. If they haven't responded to their ripping the Band-Aid off, I can tag them in another post in there or another video. And so I constantly have stuff to post or tag them in there. And then we have, like, at the very end, Lacey did a video on, what's next? What do I do now? And it walks them through, step by step. This is what you're going to do to get signed up and get started. Okay. So let me go back just 1 second. Because so you're not sending them. So once you send them the message that says, I've been stalking you and all that, and they say, yes, do you say, okay, I'm going to add you to a group?
No, so I've actually already told them I'm stalking you. And so, I'm stalking you, and they say, sure. Then I say, okay, I'm adding you to this group, and I'm going to tag you in the video and have you check out what I do. And then tomorrow I'm going to add you to a group chat and let some of my friends share their story with you.
Okay. So you add them to the group, and most people accept right away. Are you seeing that?
Yes. Well, and here's the other thing too, is if they don't accept or don't go in, because I'm an admin, so they go right in, but most everybody is accepting it anyway, but they don't necessarily go in and watch the video right away. But when they hear the stories, if they haven't watched the videos, they do go back in and watch them, and you can see that they're in there because they're in there liking and commenting.
Okay. So I saw somebody ask, what is ATM? So ATM is add, tag, and message. So that's when you create a group messenger thread, and you create it with the person that's interested that you added to the group. And then you put 3 or 4 more singular partners that have a similar background. And so and I know this part because I've been in your group. So you are voice messaging and telling your new person that's in this group, you're doing an introduction to us, and you are introducing them to us. And so then the people in the group that you've added just go in and voice record their stories. And so instead of getting them on this phone to share all their stories, they are hearing these stories. And I'm usually the last one because I don't know why. I do them. I don't know. But they go in and they hear these stories, which, I mean, they're pretty remarkable. So, and then I don't think I've been in one group yet to where the person hasn't said, thank you so much for sharing, or this is awesome, or something. So,
Right.
okay. So they get all of their stories shared. So they're still seeing at the same time. This is on day 5.
Yeah.
That they're doing the stories, but still seeing all of these posts in the business group as well.
Yeah. And
so, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and if they don't, they see those, and it takes you a while to tag them in all of them. You don't know if they've gone through and just looked. So you still always have something to tag them in. Mm-hmm. So remember that your follow-ups, you're probably not going to get them on the first day, and you might not get them on the third time. But remember, there's statistics that it's 5 to 12 times touching them before they decide, right? So keep that in mind as you're going through the whole process. You're still doing follow-ups with them.
So do you go back into their messenger to communicate with them? Or are you just at this point, if they don't respond to anything on day 5, that's when you start tagging them in the groups? Or how is your communication with them on day 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Great question. So if they are in the messenger chat and they've heard the stories, then I pop back into the messenger chat and thank everybody so that it pops up to their feed, say, thank you everybody for sharing with Melissa. Love your stories, or whatever I say, right? And then I go back into Melissa's my chat, and I just say, what did you like most about what you heard? And then they'll come back and say something. If they don't come back and say something, then I'll just say, have you had a chance to go in and check out the videos? And usually it's not that they didn't want to answer, that they didn't have something. It's just that they maybe didn't get a chance to listen to all of them, but it reminds them to go back and listen to it. But I'm not going to leave them at that. If they don't answer it, we've all had people that have ghosted us, but I'm still going to go back in and I'm asking them questions and I'm commenting, but I'm also going into their stories and commenting. So it's not just, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's like, okay, another post popped up about their dog, so I'm going to say something about their dog or their kids or, whatever. So it's not, the messenger chat isn't just all of our business stuff. Does that make sense?
So every single day, you're still like somebody that you've got to that point, you're commenting on stories every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least every 2 days, just so you have that they keep seeing you. And I can tell you, I had one of my downline, she, hit her 5 and her ex-brand partner for the, by the 15th and she had just started it on a Thursday and she had them all by the next Tuesday. And she wasn't even consistent every day. And she told me that. She's like, I know I'm not consistent, but I'm in their world and they're in my world. And so she had 15 chats going one day. She goes, I don't know what's going on, but I have 15 people I'm talking to today. And it was just because, she said that you're in their world. And so
how are you duplicating this and how are you navigating all these new chats? Tell us what your results are starting from June 1st. Tell us, what you've got and how many people you've brought on and how many partners and how many, what have you done since June 1st?
Yeah. So since June 1st, I have 9 people that have signed up and 2 are partners. And I have in my conversations, I'm in over 55 chats right now with people that have gotten into see our business page and are checking out the business part of it. And I'm going from not having one person want to see the business to having 55 this month looking at the business. And so I look at it that even if they're not signed up today, they're going to get signed up. I have, one girl that we got on the phone earlier today and her thing was, when you responded to me, I had prayed for something like this, so people are out there looking for it and it's our job to make sure that we expose it as much as possible. And so that's kind of the mindset I take. But I have 9 people that, came back in and said, sure. I think I said that before. 9 that came back in and said, sure, after I went back and was commenting in stories, continuing to do that. And then I've got probably another another 10 that I've got links out to that, wanted a link but haven't clicked on it yet. So.
Okay. So are you talking product at all?
I haven't yet. Only if they say no. If they've said no, I think I've had 3 people that said I'm not interested in that. Then I come back with the product. So,
okay. So are you, so you're not talking product at all. What was my question? Cause it was really good. Let me think. What are you enrolling them? Like what options, if you're not talking product? So what are you selling them to come in as partners? What are
yeah. So the X bundle or the other bundle that I chose was, I think Jane had talked about this one too. It's it is trim sticks, collagen, probiotic, and Zing.
Okay.
And mostly because those are the two products, or the Zing and the trim sticks are going to get them, enough results right away to feel like they're going to have energy. They're going to be burning fat. They're going to be, their mood's going to be better, appetite control, cravings, all those things. And then with the collagen and the probiotic, they've got some gut health. So
how many points is that?
That is, what is it, Greg?
Let's look it up, but I think it's like 135.
135, I think is what that is.
So it's about $199.
Yeah. Yep. So it's very doable for most people.
Awesome.
I can look at my graphic too and see.
Do you have a board set up with all of your information in it?
Yes. And I can share that with you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think you've answered all my questions. So now we're going to go. You have time to open it up?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that no one's confused. This is what I want to make sure. And I'll get her board and I'll put it in my board. So if you've got my board, we'll make sure that that I'll just label it Jan's 1, 2, 3 boom board. So that way you'll see it. So you can, let's see the questions. What are you enrolling them with? Board. Yep. Let me see. Confused about if they respond with a yes. I think we answered that.
Okay. Well, and I can tell you that when they get started as an Next Brand Partner, now we take them over to our business page, our team page, and we ATM them in the team page. And again, I don't know how many of you have said this or have heard other people say it, but we kept hearing from our new people, and just that they were confused and overwhelmed. And, we've heard that comment before, that overwhelmed distributors do nothing. And so we wanted to make it as simple as possible. And so again, Lacey and I spent a lot of time in our team board going through and saying that, we don't even give them the boards right away because it is too confusing for them. So we went through and we sat down, spent a lot of time trying to figure out what exactly do they need to know right away and what will keep them from being confused, but get them into action right away. And so we walked through our guide, set up these guides to do that.
Okay.
So,
and that is in like your leaders page?
Yeah. So if you want access to that, I can get you in there too, so you can check out what we did. Yeah. Because we actually had it set up, and then we're like, wait a second, that's too early to give them that, and then moved it to a different down further. So, but we were just trying to be really mindful of keeping it as simple as possible and making it so it's not overwhelming for the new.
And doable for them to duplicate, right?
Yes. And they can do it on their own, or you can walk them through each guide. That was kind of the purpose of when you've got your go-getters and your self-starters that can just go right through it, click done when they're done with it, go to the next guide, go right through it. But if they aren't a self-starter and need their hand held a little bit more, you can walk them through that. So.
Okay. So how are you building the relationships with your new partners?
So I'm on the phone with them all the time. I do phone calls and video chats with people all the time, because I have to see them, and I want to see their facial expressions. I want to be able to get to know them better. I just think that's so important. And so we definitely do weekly. If they're local to me, I get together with them so I can sit down and answer their questions and walk them through some stuff. So that's, and then I don't always talk business with our distributors. I'm I'm talking other things. I'm talking about their families, and I want to get to know them and, spend time with them. And, so that's kind of what we do.
Okay. Kelly has a question. You want to unmute? And if you have a question, I'm just going to let you unmute. Just raise your hand. There's a emoji that you can raise your hand. Reactions. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so after the third day, you do the Band-Aid, and then you add to the group, tag in your videos, and I don't think I got the message part. What is that when you put them into a messenger group?
Yeah. So the next day I come back and I start a group messenger chat. And like I said, I always put Lacey in, and then I try to put somewhere between 3 and 4 other people in there that are, have a background similar to theirs as much as possible. That doesn't always work either. So I have some people that I know have really, they share a really great story. And so I call on them too, but.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I saw Vicky. Well, I thought Vicky
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Jan, thank you for sharing all this. I understand you're just working the business part, but if you're enrolling them, do you just not even mention? Because like, say they do need to lose 50 or 60 pounds, you don't even discuss that with them until after you've got them as a partner and then get into it?
No, I find out if they want, what they want. So when I'm talking to them, when they're ready to get started, I'm not just sending them a link to get started. I'm talking to them to find out, what do you want? Are you interested in losing weight, or are you interested in just, gut health? Here's normally what we start with our business partners, if that's all they're interested in. But usually they reveal to me that they want better sleep. They want to lose, a few pounds or whatever. So then we go to that, I always suggest the X bundle to start with, so they can,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just was confused on that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Hi, I have my hand up, Melissa.
No, go
No.
ahead. I couldn't see that. You're the very top, and it's behind record.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for having Jan come on and talk about this. I don't know how many times I've tried to figure this out in my head, and it just didn't make sense, but it does tonight. I just have a quick question though, Jan, about these groups that you're making, to bring in, say, somebody like Melissa and several others. Do you remove them then after they've done so that group always stays there for them?
Yep. So because I'm going to go back to them, because if they, unless they tell me they're not at all interested, that go away, I don't want to be your friend. I haven't had that happen yet, but if it does, they're gone, right? Because I don't want to waste their time or my time. But if they say, no, I'm not interested yet, I can tell you every single person that has said I'm not interested yet.
Right. No, but I mean, the like Melissa would stay in that chat for a while kind of thing, with her, because she's left her story. I guess you leave a clip.
Yeah.
Do you ever do video stories in there from people?
I have not done a video chat, but I will tell you, I haven't dropped a video in, but who does every single time that I've been in a chat with her is Toddy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very powerful. So in fact, Greg and I were talking about that the other day. He's like, you need to start doing that, because that would be really powerful.
Well, and Toddy is just so much personality.
Yeah.
It's hard to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just some kind of logistical questions really about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm happy to answer any questions kind of as you guys are going through this process and they come up, just shoot me a message. I'd be happy to help anybody.
Oh my gosh, this has been so invaluable. Is there any last chance? Anybody, if you don't understand, if you get off this call and don't understand, you can only blame yourself. So if you have any last questions, ask.
I couldn't find the thing to raise my hand, Melissa, but I'm here. I have a question.
See. You don't have a hand emoji.
I don't have a hand emoji. I can't find
and I'll call on you.
I can't find the hand emoji.
Oh God.
So, Jan, I just want to add something to everybody with this. Guys, keep in mind, she just started this the first of this month. When you're doing something new and you're reaching out to people, it takes 30 to 90 days to for things to start moving in the direction that you want them to move in. So you could imagine we're just 3 weeks into her doing this and already have 9 people enrolled with just this process. Think what's going to happen for her in another 30 days, another 60 days, another 90 days. So if this doesn't move as fast for you as it is for her, don't forget that. Don't forget that it takes that extra up to 90 days before you start seeing the progress or the progress from what you're doing. But Jan, I love this. I love how you simplified it. I love where it's not kind of spammy feeling, because I'll be honest with you, the 222 thing for me was
Same.
a little out of my comfort zone too far. And this is not, and I don't think it should be out of anyone's comfort zone, because it's simple steps, it's consistent steps that builds over time, and you're getting them the information that's kind of pretty much already there, you know, with that 10-minute video. And it's been I watched that video recently, but if I'm not mistaken, in the video, it does talk about the products a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, not specifically, but it talks about what Zingler is. So they're going to get a little bit of a detail there of how great our program is. So, but
And something else, Stacy, too, that everybody, this is great. And I know everybody's going to start, because that's what always happens. But if you're not consistent with it, don't even start. If you don't plan on being consistent with it, you're going to waste your time. If you do it 2 days and, you know, and then you skip the 3rd day and then you do it, you know, 2 more days, you go back, it's not going to work. I mean, speak to that, Jan. I mean, it's got to be something consistent with.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 things. Number 1, be consistent with it. Do it every single day. And I don't care. I know people say they don't work Sundays, but and you need a rest. But here's the thing with this, as we're all trying to build, there's times where you'll be able to rest, and your Sundays will be, you know, you'll back off a little bit. I know we do it. We plan our day around that, but be consistent doing it every single day. And I promise you're going to start to see results. And I started seeing results on day 8. So it took me 8 days of doing it before I started seeing people ask or answer. So the first thing is be consistent. The second thing is track it. I have some people that told me they wanted to do it on our team, and I know they don't use a tracking system. I know they don't use Teamsy. They don't record anything or write anything down, and they scroll through their messenger chat. That's how they've done their business. That's how they've done it, right? Cannot get them to understand the power of tracking. Anyway, they're like, well, it's not working. Well, and I just had to be blunt with them and say, of course it's not working. You don't know who's on day 1, who's on day 2, 3, 4, who you're following up with. How can you possibly remember that? Because every single day it's 25 people and you've got 5 new people every single day. You know, so there's no way, if you're not tracking it with something. Now, I have some people that use notes, and that's okay. They've showed me how they do it in notes and it works for them. I have somebody else that did they do it in Google Sheets because they like that. You know, I don't care how you're doing it, just that you do it. And so I do mine in my notebook because I can carry this notebook with me. The twins they took the tracker that I had and they made a nice little handout. I'll share that with you guys. You can print that off and use that. It's, you know, it's super clean and nice for you. So, but the key thing is consistency and tracking it, you know, and build those relationships, be genuine about what you're talking to people about, and show your passion when you're talking to them. And so.
Okay. And how long do you spend a day?
I spend on just the 333 stuff, I'm spending probably about an hour on it. You know, it takes me about 6 minutes to go through each group of 5. So, you can spend more time depending on how kind of deep you get into conversations with people. But for the most part, that's about, the time that I have to set that time aside for it. And I do it right away in the morning. And here's why I do that, because it's easy to say you're going to do it at night and then things come up and now you haven't done it for the day. Right. So I do it right away in the morning so that I've got my day started with it. And I know that if you're doing other jobs and working full time while you're doing this, that's it might be a little bit more challenging for you to do. but definitely get in on your, your 5 that you're getting ready to rip the Band-Aid off to, get in and comment in their stories and then rip the Band-Aid off, so that you have that going right away, at least in the morning, because the others you can do over lunch break or, throughout the day or whatever. But yeah.
So apparently I've got 4 days to get my business page in gear. Starting tomorrow, because that day 4 is when everybody start putting them in there. So
right.
So we got it started. So I'll commit to that if you guys will commit to doing it. And Stacy, you have to do it too.
Am I going to be in yours? Is what you're telling me?
No. You would
Now,
love that. You would love
Jan,
that. So
Jan, let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
The business group, is that an ATM group or is it a separate group that is business testimonies in there?
So we started a group just for exposing people to the business. And we took videos from the company put on there, but I'm in the process of taking individual stories that people have shared on, I think it's Maddie and Logan's page, and taking those recordings and putting them in there. So we're going to have everybody's testimonies in there. So I don't know if I've got your 2 on there, but we'll get, like, yours will be in there. We're trying to put as many people in there as possible with their stories so that they have, a guide that has all those testimonies in there. So
Miami will help with that.
what's that?
Miami will help with that.
Yes.
So.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I love you so much. Hey, Greg.
Love you too. He's got COVID, so he's kind of wearing down tonight.
Well, we'll let you go and I'll finish up with the team, but thank you. And if there's any other questions, I'll shoot them to you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Oh, y'all, that's like so much information in my head right now. And sorry that it took so long, but I wanted her to break it down like step by step, because like she was going so fast and my hand couldn't write, and I needed to understand it. So sorry we took a little bit of extra time, but if I needed to understand it, I figured you guys did too. And y'all know where the end button is if y'all don't need to stay. So that's how I'm glad we did that, because I have such a better understanding of it. And as soon as she gets me the tracker, I'm going to get that to you. We've already got, Tammy, do you have a group already? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You are muted.
Sorry. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I did not start a group.
Okay.
I personally feel like they need phone calls. So I'm getting them on phone calls. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I think that's good exposure, but it's overwhelming too when they go into those groups. I'm in Lacey Friends, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. I'm going to look at it because I worry about that too. Actually, Stacy, Christy, and I were just talking about that today. So we may have something else that, you've got to always be innovative, right? So we may be working on something else, but we do have a group. We do have a business group. It just doesn't have all the guides because I don't understand it, and I haven't been able to Google it to find out how to do that. So, so I will work on that just to have something until we can get something else that might be a lot simpler. And then, does anybody have any questions about it? Like, do y'all get it? You probably don't want to put them. I mean, I don't see what would be the problem of putting them in a combined, if we all had a combined group, because they're going to be invited by the person who adds them to the group. So it's not going to be like a results group where it's just random people. It's going to be targeted people. So I don't think it'd be, if we did a group, I don't think it'd be a problem to cross-line on that. I definitely don't think a results group would be good to have cross lines in, but something like this that's targeted and that that they have to be invited to get in, that nobody random can just add themselves in. I think that might work, Stacy. Is he still on here? Did he leave? Okay, I'll talk to him, and I'll talk to Tammy, and we'll see what we'll talk about that, because that might work, and then we could collaborate our efforts and make it not confusing, just make it to where the only way they can see it is to click in the guides, and it have to be, we tell them, unless you've got somebody that's that's over adventurous and wants to know, because once I said yes, I wanted to know everything. Like, I've got that personality too, to where it's not overwhelming to me. But like somebody like, somebody else, it could be very overwhelming, especially like somebody who's not business minded and just, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, it might work. Okay. We got 2 weeks to go to get your free X bundle. And there is no reason in this world why every single person on here does not get that free X bundle with people coming out of the woodworks. All you have to do is five X bundles get you a free X bundle. X bundle, X plus, or X advance gets you a free $300 kit on top of commissions. So again, I told this last week, and first I went back to my messenger chats, and too much, I put in the keywords too much, expensive, can't afford, and brought back all those people who said no because they can't afford it. And I said, I've got an opportunity for you to get a free X bundle, $300 system bundle this month if you're interested. And they don't have to put a penny out of pocket. If they make a post or if they make phone calls and get 5 people to order, theirs is free. Y'all, I had a girl on my team that was a distributor that sold 20 rainbow vacuum cleaners to get a free cruise. You know how much rainbow vacuum cleaners are? I mean, she did that. I called her. It's ridiculous. I mean, but if somebody wants this, and we know everybody does, that may not be something that's really, I mean, you find the right person or the right people, and that could be really huge for you. That could be 5 new people for you. And all you got to do is give them their X bundle that they earned. It just comes to you. You're going to have to pay shipping, but my Lord, look at the commissions. And I'm not offering any commission back. I'm not offering any referral fees back. All that comes to me. The kit goes to them. So that's definitely a way to, in the next 2 weeks, to expand your team real quick. And I'm telling them, they all have to come in as partners. And I'm not giving people a choice on that. And I don't know if I've talked about that on here or not, but when you sign up, it's $49.95. We never balked about telling them it was $14.95 for a membership fee and $35 more for the partner fee. We gave them that option. Now it's just like $49.95. And I've had people say, well, do I have to pay it? No, but not many people do that. They just say, okay. It's insane to me, you say it with confidence and they listen to you. It's just like everything else. You've got to get your big girl and big boy panties on, pull them up, and speak boldness. You've got to be bold about what you're doing. You've got to be confident about what you're doing. You've got to show them that assurance that you know what you're talking about and they want to listen to you, and they will. So that's that. The other thing that's going on is, and there's several of us already in these groups that we're doing a weight loss jump start. And Jennifer McKinney I've partnered with her to help me do the first one. And it's a boot camp. And Tammy, you have to tell me how much you lost. I lost 9.6 pounds in 6 days doing it, starting last Monday. It ended it started Saturday. It started a week ago Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it ended on Thursday. And as of today, where I'm not doing the boot camp part, I'm just doing regular, a regular eating plan that's out there. And I have not gained 1 pound back. So I'm starting again, the 24th, we're doing the next boot camp, and mine is called Elevate. And I did not realize Christy Bland's team name was Elevate, but my boot camp's going to stay Elevate because I've already got a logo, dang it. So I'm doing that. If anybody wants to join it and jump in, it's $20. And you can jump in and see if you like it or not. And if you invite 4 people to it, then your fee is rebated. So you're definitely welcome to join that. Just see if it's something you plateaued or just need a jump start. It's I don't know that I will stay doing that particular plan forever, but I'm definitely happy with the way that things are going, and I feel amazing. So, and I think that's what I needed, not only for my health, but I think I needed that confidence booster for my business. Because I don't know about you guys, but me, when I gain weight and I don't feel good, my business suffers because I don't have that oomph, that you need to do this. So that's that. Tammy said 6.8 in 6 days on hers. So anybody else? Donna, you're on it too, aren't you? How much did you lose? 10? Shut up. That's awesome. And Teresa, oh gosh, Deborah lost. What'd you and Deborah lose? Y'all lost a ton.
I
Deborah?
lost 9.2 and she was 10 point something, I think it was, but I've lost another 4 since that. So,
Oh my God, I'm so proud of y'all.
thank
Yeah.
you.
So we're excited. I know Nancy's getting in on mine. Vicky's getting in on mine. Tracy's lost 18.4. Holy crap. That's since April. I'm so proud of you. Doesn't it feel good? I'm just saying. All right. Did I miss anything, somebody? Is there anything that I missed? Oh, we're having a special Zoom Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And Stephanie Wood is coming on a team training for me to talk about Facebook parties and how she has started doing those and got not only several managers, but they've gone on to Silver Manager and they are duplicating. So I am going to give you the tools and I need you to take them and run with them. I need you to find the thing that just is the aha moment to you and says, I can do that and makes sense. And it may not be the same thing for everybody, but I'm going to bring you the tools. I'm going to bring you the people that are having success with getting partners and duplicating right now to teach you what they're doing. And then you're going to have to take that accumulation of all of it or whatever it is that you feel comfortable with and you think you can make work and do every day. And let's run. It is time to go to the next level. It is. I'm done sitting here. I am done staying at the same place. And I know all of you feel the same way. It's time to get back and go beyond where we've been. It's time to go places that we haven't even seen before. I am ready. Are you? Are you going with me? Because I am excited. I am determined. And I want all of you to be on that choo-choo with me. So anybody else got anything? Comments? Suggestions? Questions? Woo, it's been a good night. All right, I'm going to declare Ephesians 3:20 over all of you. God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can think or ask. Because we honor him, his blessings are going to chase us down and overtake us. You are in the right place at the right time, and I declare a boldness to rise up in you. God is going to open supernatural doors. People are going to seek us out, and we are going to rise in the ranks because we give him the honor and glory and praise for it all. I love y'all. Have a great night. Mwah.